Go.
Alright guys, so I'm gonna get ready to quarter this deer out. I always just slice the flank meat down. You have to start with the front shoulders. And all you do is just grab the leg, pull out like this, run your knife into that pocket, give it a pull, and you'll see that right there's my broadhead. There's your front shoulder. A little leaves on that, but here's one. Now if you look, right here is my broadhead. There's my arrow. What's left of it. See, I busted off a blade on the broadhead. That's what you want to be careful of. That blade's still inside that animal somewhere. So there's one front shoulder. Do the same thing. Here's the other shoulder. And your hind quarters, as you see, I split to the pelvic bone when I got the deer. You just take your knife, if you follow the edge of that bone, apply a little bit of pressure, you will come to the hip socket, which is right here. You cut this tendon right here in the middle, and that releases that socket. Then you just take your knife, you follow that bone. There's one hind quarter. Okay, now when I got the two front shoulders and one hind quarter off, I've already taken the inner tenderloins out. I come around and that's when I take my back straps. This deer has plenty of fat. Yes, so you're going to make a cut across like that. And then if you look right here, you can see where the deer's spinal column would be. You just feel with your knife. And you're just going to work that nice and slow. Now when I'm down here, I run my knife down like this, because the tenderloin stops about here anyways. Your tenderloin will just pull right out for you. Got a little angle of the knife there. The tenderloin does run clean into the neck. That is a big tenderloin off a very large deer. And that thing is 3 foot. So that's one side. And once you do that, you can see, like, right here is where you're going to want to run your knife. You want to follow that spinal column. Make your cut across. I use my thumb. As you see, I left little to nothing behind on that deer's tenderloin. And then we have the other hind quarter. We have somebody who is going to take the ribs. So before I go dropping these ribs on the ground and making a mess out of them for somebody, on the hide is clean as long as you have first side down. So I'm just going to take my knife again, hang on to the pelvic bone. And there you have it. You have your deer quartered. I always leave the Achilles tendon attached so I can hang my deer from it, and then when I'm done, I'll give it a cut, pull it down. Now you still have your leg on here, so you want to get rid of that. Get rid of the tarsal gland. What I do, you know, a lot of guys run saws, but you don't really have to. Like I said before, as long as you cut all the way around that deer's joint, cut all those tendons, that leg will snap very easily. And there you have it. There's a deer quartered. Now it's time to debone this deer and get it processed for the freezer. So when you process your deer, you want to make sure you get all your silver skin, fat, tallow. You want all that stuff trimmed off, because if not, it will give your deer a gamey taste or leave a film in your mouth. And that's not very pleasant. You don't want to eat that. So you just want to make sure and trim it as good as possible. I mean, a very little bit of fat left will not hurt it. But you don't want A lot of fat.
We have a processing system that works for us. So he'll go ahead and take all the fat off and what tallow's on there. And then I'll go through, do a final touch up, and I'll bag it for the freezer, or I'll can it. One of the two. It really don't take that long to
process an animal.
No, don't. Don't forget you got that one blade from the arrow. It's floating around there somewhere.
Somewhere near the spine.
Alright. Then we'll have to let her know when she comes and takes those ribs. There it is. Get my vacuum sealer out.
A lot of people, when they process their venison, they break it down into what they want as far as like stew meat, steaks, burger, or whatever have you. Me, I seem to think that if you leave it in bigger chunks, it will, one, store longer in your freezer, and two, if it's left in bigger chunks, you can do with whatever you want. If you don't feel like having steaks, or if you don't feel like having stew meat, if you want to roast, then you don't have no roasts. So that's just the way I like to do it. Like I said, it preserves longer in the freezer. It prevents, if you do get freezer burnt, you're able to trim it off, instead of having a bag full of steaks that are all freezer burnt and then you can't eat them. Well, everybody does it different, so this is just the way that I like to do it. It works for me.
Once we hit 500 subs, we'll do live streams. So what's the oddest hunting experience you've ever had?
Oddest hunting experience?
Yep.
As far as
Anything.
That's a good question.
How about the last one you got with the bow and you had to slit its neck?
Oh, yeah, that was kind of rough. I had taken the 6-point with the bow, and thought I had made a good shot on the deer. Well, come to find out it wasn't as good a shot as I thought I had made. And when I finally got up to the deer, obviously it was dark time when I caught up with it. I could not shoot the deer again because obviously it's illegal to shoot in the dark. So I had to dispatch the deer with a knife that was way too small for the job, but I got it done. The deer did not suffer too long. That was yeah, that was an experience. I had to cut the deer's throat.
How big was your pocket knife?
Oh boy, I got it here somewhere. It was tiny. I dispatched a deer with a knife, the blade about that big. It was only like an inch long blade, inch and a half blade. But I always keep a sharp knife. There's no point in having a dull knife. A dull knife will get you nowhere. So
Alright, I gotta get one of my bins. We use a bin so that way. Usually we have all four of us out here doing it. But my daughter went to work. And my son's doing something. So, just makes it a little bit easier when there's 3 people cutting and 1 person bagging to have bins.
yeah. But even it's only me, it won't take too awful long. I've been doing this my whole life. I'll have the deer done in probably a half hour.
What I'm gonna do is put this whole chunk in this bag, vacuum seal it, and label it.
Another reason we leave the chunks of meat whole like this is that there is a place that you could bring your venison to and swap it out for already finished product. You just have to pay the difference. So that is something that we are considering. They make all different kinds of stuff, bratwurst, you name it, they make it. And it's all organic.
That's all we do. Venison 21. We'll show how we do a leg and the back straps, so that way nobody gets bored of watching us clean the whole entire deer. It's just how we do it, and it makes it a little bit easier. Got the whole thing in there yet? No. I better get that before the dog has, oh my God, written all over his face.
Yes, our dog likes venison very much.
Yeah, he likes venison a little too much.
Where's
what?
My, oh, right there.
Quick way of sharpening a knife. Don't worry about it, so you're not getting any. Because you don't know how to behave. He's sitting there patiently waiting in hopes that Derek drops something.
And there you have it. One nice, clean piece of meat.
I might need a bigger bag for that.
Like I said, if you want to make jerky, then you have a piece of meat that you could make muscle jerky out of, and that's where we do have a meat slicer. So that's a good possibility that some of this will be getting turned in too.
I want to make some venison summer sausage. Hang it up in the smoker. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's another good thing about leaving your deer meat in chunks like this is, say, summertime, slap that on a grill or on a smoker all day. Can't get much ready. Okay, that is a hind quarter done.
You rolling, Moto. Okay, right here he has the back strap, so he's going to show you how he does it really quickly. Everybody has their own way. There's no wrong way of doing it.
There's no wrong way of processing. I mean, it's all in what you prefer to do and what's comfortable for you. Everybody has their own ways. Take all this silver skin,
ribs won't be going to waste because I know someone who eats deer ribs. The heart as well and the liver, so that will be going to her. When we go out and get an animal and process it, none of it goes to waste. I'm not keen on wasting anything. You
owe it to that animal to use every bit of that animal as you possibly can. And what is remaining will go for trapping bait. What's that, guys? It's always nice to keep a good sharp knife.
I've seen people use the, is it the tallow?
That's sinew that I just pulled off the back. The Indians used to make their strings for their bows and stuff.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yes. And there you have it. A clean tenderloin.
Don't forget to like and hit subscribe. Thank you for watching.